Carl is a Justice Matters follower who told us how the Western Australia Police covered up an assault because they couldn't be bothered carrying out a proper investigation. We've changed Carl's name to protect his identity, and it's his story, so it's up to you whether to believe it. Carl had been having ongoing issues with a neighbour who'd been trained in martial arts. It eventually boiled over with the neighbour and his 18-year-old son violently assaulting Carl. They punched and kicked him in the head, and then they put him in a jiu-jitsu style chokehold so he couldn't breathe. But the Western Australia Police only charged the son with minor assault, when it should have at least been assault occasioning grievous bodily harm, and the father wasn't charged at all. Now the son pleaded guilty, so Carl wasn't required to give evidence, and the police carried out the barest of investigations. During the court hearing, the son told several lies that made Carl out to be the aggressor, and the police didn't challenge it, and Carl wasn't able to tell his side of the story. Does that sound like justice to you? Now, when Carl went to the police station to find out why the father wasn't charged and why the investigation was so limited, the officer treated him like he was the criminal, aggressively telling him the case was closed. Now, Carl lodged complaints, but unsurprisingly, they've been rejected. I asked Carl what upset him, and he said that he understood that the police have a lot to deal with, and sometimes they just don't have the resources to handle every matter as thoroughly as they should. But if that's what happened, then they should have said so, rather than treating him like a criminal for just asking why the father wasn't charged. Now, for those cops who complain about the trauma they suffer and how difficult their job is, maybe you should give some consideration to the trauma you cause, because Carl's life has been flipped on its head. He now suffers from PTSD and has lost income because the anxiety makes it difficult for him to work.